Weather's still miserable, overcast and raining. It's to be expected at this time of year. I've just been checking out a few of these plants. I know I keep showing them you, but look at those sweet peas now. They're amazing. They've had no care or attention. We've not even been fleecing these. We just left them to their own devices. They're feeling a little bit light now, so since we've got a bit of drizzle, I want to pop these outside on bench and remember to bring them back in later. But yeah, brilliant. They're coming along really well. I haven't shown you these for a while, and I think these need to go outside as well. They're very slow. They're as spring onions, but you can see that they are growing. They've just been very slow, and there's a couple of cells in there that only just started coming through. But we've got quite a few good results from them. Next to it we've got beetroot. They've been very slow so far this year. So what I'm going to do is, while I make this video, is I'm going to take these two outside, pop them on bench and let them get a good natural watering. And I'm going to do the same with these. These are those lettuces that were pricked out and moved on quite recently. It's only been a couple of days, but I think you'll agree that they've started to put a little bit of size on now. That's as cut and come again ones. In fact, I'm just going to give these a water in here. I don't want to put them outside and run risk slugs or birds getting to them, you never know. So we'll just give them a quick spray around bottoms and leave them where they are. It's not the reason that I'm in here today, to be honest. We're not doing much of any seed sowing. It's a little bit too early. It's still too dark through day. The days don't last very long, and it's not that warm either. So minimal seed sowing. We've already got a few bits and bobs that's on go. We've got us garlic, we've got us carrots, we've got the lettuce, the sweet peas. So for very early in season we have got something going. But what we're concentrating on today is something else that we can get started early, and that's onion sets. I've got some called stir-on. I'll just show you some. Nice little immature onions, and the best ones are the nice round, plump, firm ones. They're the ones that you're looking for. But even if you get some little tiny ones like this, you can still plant them. Just be aware that sometimes you'll get them and they might feel a little bit squishy. They're no good, throw those away. But these are all perfectly fine. We haven't got loads this year because we are kind of downscaling on what we're planting outdoors, just for the moment till we find out what our situation is for this coming season. So we're sticking to a lot of container growing, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are very interested in container gardening, and we did it really successfully last year as well. So this year we're going to do it, but bigger. If you put your onion sets outside now, it's not a very good idea. It's too cold, it's too damp, too consistently wet most days, and that's not going to do those onion sets any good. We all know that onions are prone to white rot, so putting them outside in consistently damp compost, that's just going to contribute towards that problem. So although you don't want to be planting them outside at the moment, you can get them started off indoors. And we do it in a certain way, and we do it for a reason as well. The obvious reason is that if we do it and we get them started, we've got a jump on season. We can get those little bulbs growing before we even put them in the final place outdoors. And another reason we do it is, when you do come to planting your onion sets outside, you're just pushing these little bulbs into that compost and leaving those tops sticking out, which is kind of attractive to birds. They think they're little worms, and they'll go along all your rows pulling up all your onion sets. Then you're going to have to go around and replant them all again, which is very annoying. So if you use the method that we use, you'll not only end up with an onion set that's starting to grow its green shoot on top, it'll also have an established root ball at bottom. So when you put your onions in ground, they're kind of wedged in there and a lot harder, if not impossible, for birds to pull up. So there's two advantages to doing what we're about to do now. And we're going to plant them in cells. We do this every year and it always works. And all you're going to need is some little cells like that with some composting. I've pre-filled these and I've given them a bit of watering as well. And I've got a couple that I've done. And this is guaranteed to be the best way to start your onion sets. You can take these indoors as well if you want to, and that'll encourage quicker growth. But if you don't want them indoors, you can just leave them outside in your greenhouse. If it gets too cold, chuck a bit of fleece over the top. So we're going to go through these onion sets, pick out any bad ones and get as first onions for 2024 underway. I'm just going to pop all my onion sets into this bowl. As I said, we haven't got loads at the moment, but there is time to get some more. So not as many as I thought we'd got, but it's enough for a start. And it could not be easier when you're doing these. That bit, top of your onion, and that bit is where the root comes out. So it's quite obvious that you need to leave that bit sticking up. So just taking one of these and you just push it into that compost. Just push it in nice and firm and just leave that top sticking out. That's all you need to do. It could not be any simpler. So we'll just keep going down, and as you're doing this, if you do come across any that's a bit squishy, you can quite easily take them out as you go. But these are going to be the easiest onions you'll ever grow. You can see this one's already started with a bit of root on bottom. And the top's there. So we'll just push that straight in. It's start of your season very shortly, and this is definitely going to be one of the easiest jobs that you'll do, but also the most rewarding, because for the sake of doing this, once you get round to planting out time, you're already going to have very established onions. Let's get some of these big ones in. That's a really nice size one there. I'll put that at the back. You can do this with any type of onion as well. It's just something that we do every year that's always worked out really well for us. And it's also great to be able to get something else underway so early in season. So I'm going to stick to the biggest ones out of here at the moment. And that's all those set up. Such a simple job to do, but so worthwhile at the same time. That's a lot of onions already set up, ready to start growing, whether it be indoors or out. But at least you know you're going to have more advanced, established onion sets when it does come time to plant them out. So there's around 50 onions, and also it's only taking up a very small amount of space. So if you've got some onion sets, that's the best way to start them off at this time of year. And you have to remember that onions have got a 2-year life cycle. So they need to be kept in a certain temperature until they reach maturity. They don't want to be put in icy temperatures and then into hot temperatures, because then they'll bolt, they'll just go to seed. And I'm sure that people that have grown onions before have already experienced that. And because they take such a long time to mature, somewhere in region around 120 days, it's a massive chunk at year lost, and usually too late to restart any as well. So it's a good idea not to plant them straight outside with a chance of frost and snow still. Because they're immature bulbs that's already been grown and then stopped growing, ready to be planted again the following year, they're already on their first year of growing. So if you put them outside and then we get freezing temperatures and then we get warm temperatures, during that season, that onion is going to think it's on its second year of growing. And that's the time when an onion will put up flowers and drop seeds. And that's a big reason why onions bolt. So whether you keep them out here, just be aware that if we do get any -3 or -4 temperatures, it'd be a good idea just to pop a little bit of fleece over them, because we do get some freaky weather at times. But by doing it this way, you're already going to get a good start on those onions. So hopefully you found this video useful, and if you don't have any onion sets at the moment, don't worry about it. There's plenty of time to start them. I like to start them in February because typically you can plant these outdoors at the end of March to mid-April, when it is a bit lighter and it's a bit warmer. But you can start them off any time between now and then, so plenty of time for your onion sets. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, and if you're a first time visitor or a first time grower and you want to follow what we do through season, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you on the next one. You all take care.